Hello there guys and welcome, it is Niran here and today it is time for me to bring you episode number 20 of our Leicester City career mode here on FIFA 16, nice round number, and today brings you the penultimate episode of this season, of Season 1. We're going to be playing 2 games today. There's a lot of off-pitch stuff as well, but there's going to be 2 games in today's episode versus West Ham United and against Everton, and then we'll be looking at the finale next episode. Now if you haven't seen one of the any finale episode to one of my career modes before, I highly suggest you look in the description because I put a lot of effort into them, and that will sort of give you a gauge of what you're going to be looking forward to, hopefully, for next weekend when I upload the Season 1 finale of Leicester City career mode. So I hope you guys are pumped for that, if you know what one of my finale episodes entails anyway, and if you don't, then look in the description, and I hope having seen one of them, you'll be pretty hyped nevertheless. But 2 games in today's episode. I know that's obviously 1 less than usual, but hopefully the finale next time out will make up for that. In the background though, you are seeing some of the stats across this season, the top goal scorers, the top assist makers, and where some of our players stand in those various lists. Now in the top scorers list, we actually only have 1 representative, and I think same in the assist list as well. Andre Kramaric is now down to 2nd in the top scorers list. He scored 16 goals in the BPL across this season. Jamie Vardy is actually joint 25th, but he didn't come up on the list, so hopefully he can add to that tally today. There's also, I think Jamie Vardy was featured in the assist list down in sort of in the top 20, and also we've got the top clean sheets, if you like, the goalkeeper with the most clean sheets, and that is of course Kasper Schmeichel, 14 clean sheets, 2 more than his nearest competitor Willy Caballero of Manchester City. And going into more depth a little bit with the sort of stats so far this season, here are the top goal scorers from our squad in general, and we'll also look at the assist makers and average ratings too. There you can see Andre Kramaric with 16. There was 7 goals as well for Jamie Vardy and for Shinji Okazaki in the Barclays Premier League, and apart from that, the goals are very much spread out, if you like. And in terms of the average rating, Kasper Schmeichel actually top of that with a 7.2 average rating. Andre Kramaric as well with a 7.1, a few other players there, here and there. Feel free to pause the video as well if you want to. But looking at the assists, look at how spread out the assists are. Jamie Vardy with 5, but then Mbolo, Perez, Kante with 4, about 10 players with 3, 5 players with 2. Really is very spread out. That's probably why we don't have a player in like the top 10 in the assist list, because they're all so spread out across the squad, and I almost prefer that to anything else. But it's nice to see that goals and assists are coming from all over the pitch, and that the average ratings are pretty high across the board too. But now time to get into the first game of today's episode against West Ham United. Both of the games today will be at the King Power Stadium because they are both home fixtures. And there you can see the squad in the background. Delat coming into the side to replace Bruno Perez as well for this one. And we actually got the first chance of the game in the 30th minute, so a pretty quiet first half an hour. But Jamie Vardy testing Adrian, but the Spanish goalkeeper pretty much up to the task. Now Pione Sisto trying to do a similar thing 3 minutes later, cutting inside there with a Ronaldo chop and a slightly more complex save there for Adrian in the West Ham goal. Now Gökhan Inler receiving the ball just outside the box, and he hits the post. That was an incredible strike. Think about the goal that would have been if that had gone in. Alexander Song, or Alex Song there, ending the half by blazing the ball over the bar after the pass there from Manuel Lanzini, who was one of the players to watch out for. But look at that, fantastic tackles there. One from Wimmer, then from N'Golo Kante to set up a counter-attack here. Kante now with a fantastic ball through to Jamie Vardy here in the second half, and Jamie Vardy slots the ball past Adrian. We have finally beaten the West Ham Spanish goalkeeper, and what a goal that is. Some fantastic tackles there to set up that move and set up the goal, firstly by Wimmer, then from N'Golo Kante. Fantastic dedication from the 2 players. A lovely pass from Kante, and then a lovely finish from Jamie Vardy to make it 1-0. But we are not done here. We're looking to try and make it 2-0. We're of course fighting for the top 4 this season now, and we almost made it 2-0. Because what a free kick that almost was from Pione Sisto. Sisto going forward again, this time finding Andre Kramaric, but again it's a save from Adrian to put it past the post. We're going forward again into injury time, and N'Golo Kante is brought down by Winston Reid, someone who I know very well from my FIFA 15 career mode with West Ham United. He's made a mistake there, and Kante just javelining himself. Is that a word? Just pretending to be a javelin and just face first into the dirt. But nevertheless, Jamie Vardy has dispatched the penalty that came after, because Riyad Mahrez was not on the pitch. That's why Jamie Vardy took the penalty instead, and we win the game 2-0 in front of our home fans. I mentioned it briefly, but going into this episode, if Manchester City mess up slightly, we could actually have an outside chance of taking a top 4 finish, but with that result, we are actually guaranteed Europa League football at least, which I think is the realistic aim here, is to take Europa League football in the first season. I think that would be very, very impressive. Even that. Champions League football would be incredible, but I think Europa League will be far more realistic. As you can see, there is confirmation of that in the background. Unsurprisingly, Jamie Vardy got man of the match after scoring both our goals. But nevertheless, it is now time to get into today's question of the day, and it's a pretty simple one. Who do you think has been our player of the season so far? There will be another question of the day, actually, right at the end of the episode, so make sure to stick around for that. But the first link in the description will take you to a straw poll deciding who has been player of the season for our squad, or in our squad, across the whole season. Doesn't just have to be Barclays Premier League games, it can be cup games as well. I have a sneaky suspicion, Andre Kramaric, Kasper Schmeichel will be well up there in terms of the results, but you can vote for absolutely anyone. I think there'll probably be about 12 players on the list in terms of players that I think have performed very well across the season, and make sure to vote for that. But nevertheless, it's time to get into the second and final, in this instance, game of today's episode. We're playing Everton yet again at the King Power Stadium now. It's a slightly reserved squad, I've got to say. Iheanacho in the side for what could be his last game for the club until we potentially sign him permanently next episode. But Mbolo back in the side, Francois Camano also starting proceedings. You'll have seen a substitution a moment ago, and it was quite an interesting one, because Phil Jagielka came on for Stephen Naismith, but then actually played where Naismith was playing, which was up front. And speaking of players playing up front, Romelu Lukaku, the main striker for Everton, who's been our absolute nemesis this entire season so far, has blasted Everton in front with a fantastic goal, and he's very unlucky that it isn't 2, because he's hit the inside of the post, but he would not be denied by the woodwork just 1 minute later, because we're now losing 2-0 in a flash. And Phil Jagielka has been key to this. Now, the boos are ringing out at the King Power Stadium here, because we're 2-0 down. We haven't even had a shot, and we're being absolutely dominated by the blue half of Merseyside in this game. And again, they almost scored a third goal there. Kasper Schmeichel pulling off a fantastic save from the resulting corner. He punches clear. It falls to Darren Gibson. It's saved. And there is that man, Phil Jagielka. We are 3-0 down. This is unprecedented for Season 1. Have we been losing this badly this season so far? But Phil Jagielka, that's pretty much the reason I showed the substitution at the start, because he then went on to score a goal. We're now going forward finally in this game in the 73rd minute, and we've actually scored. Shinji Okazaki there, picking up the ball, fantastic counter-attack. Fukurata Mazuaku actually playing it down the line. Shinji Okazaki bursting, charging into the box there and blasting the ball past Tim Howard to at least give us something to cheer about in this game, to make sure the fans are at least not going home having seen anything at all. But they certainly have seen something now. They've seen Phil Jagielka score an absolute beauty of a curled effort from outside of the area, which is, of course, completely what you see Phil Jagielka do on a daily basis. But nevertheless, it is 4-1. It is a fantastic goal from Phil Jagielka to get his brace, would you believe, as a centre-back playing as a striker or a centre-forward, and it is 4-1, but we've actually now got an opportunity to make it 4-2, as Riyad Mahrez is actually taken down by James McCarthy, and he coolly steps up and slams the ball past Tim Howard yet again. We've scored 2 goals at home, and we've lost the game quite substantially. It just tells you what sort of game it was. Riyad Mahrez, though, taking the penalty, won the penalty, of course, taking the penalty and then scoring the penalty. But we do lose the game at home 4-2. A massive defeat and a huge result in terms of our Champions League aspirations, which surely now means Manchester City will have taken the stronghold in that battle, but we'll have to see at the end of the episode. We're certainly already into the Europa League guaranteed, so it hasn't affected our European aspirations in general, but it is somewhat of a shame, a pretty poor performance. A slight positive, though, out of today's episode, as well as the win at the start of the episode, is the fact that Bril Donald Mbolo has actually gone up an overall in training. He's gone up from 77 to 78. He was at the top of the training list last episode in a straw poll I put in the description last time. Bruno Perez and Jamie Vardy were also trained, but now something that you guys have been asking for a few times recently in the comments section, and that is a youth scouting report, sorry. And we've actually got a scout out in Sweden at the moment. You'll have seen me just sign a player a moment ago, but I think we rejected all the other ones. And we've also got a scout report back from England, but I don't think we signed anyone from this scouting report. We did, however, sign someone from Sweden, and I will go over them in the youth academy at a later date. Actually, this Niall Williams guy, I think I continued to scout for another month because I wasn't quite sure whether he was going to be good enough or not. So we continue to scout him, and we'll see maybe later on in the season or in a few episodes from now whether we've actually signed him. Now it is time, however, for my second question of the day before I leave you with the table and the final day fixtures. And my question of the day, given that after the finale we'll be looking at the Euros, so Euro 2016, it is actually coming up to the time where I need to actually announce my squad for Euro 2016. I need to announce the England squad, and I want you guys to have some sort of a vote on this. It won't be a straw poll, but leave in the comment section any players, sort of fairly young usually, but even players from our squad like Jamie Vardy or whatever. Would you like to see them in the Euro 2016 squad? So there's some youngsters here like Jack Butland, for instance. Andros Townsend was on the page before. Callum Wilson, Troy Deeney, Jamie Vardy, Callum McManaman. You know, whoever you want to see. If there's any players you want to see in the squad, make sure to drop them in the comment section below. If you see a comment you like, make sure to thumb it up so I'm more likely to see it or more likely to think that people want to see that player in the squad. Also, some really young players like Maitland-Niles, Will Hughes as well, Harrison Reed, Callum Chambers, James Ward-Prowse, all those young players you can drop in the comment section, as well as some older players if you want, like Jamie Vardy or whatever. Thumb them up, and hopefully they'll go into the squad. But nevertheless, after that question of the day, make sure to drop those answers in the comment section. It is time to look at the final day fixtures. Now, ignore the first three that are blank. They are games in hand for various teams. You're looking from Arsenal versus Aston Villa downwards. They are the final day fixtures, and we play Chelsea at Stamford Bridge on the final day of the season, and it is not going to be easy because, as you can see from the table, they are fighting for the title, very much so, with Manchester United. They are level on points, would you believe, going into the final day of the season. We are also level on points, would you believe, with Manchester City, sitting in 4th place. So if we win, we are guaranteed Champions League football, but obviously it's not as easy as that. We're playing Chelsea, who are highly motivated themselves to try and win the Barclays Premier League title. There's also a battle going on between Sunderland and Newcastle, so a time-weird battle going on there for the final Europa League spots, as well as a relegation battle going on between Bournemouth and Aston Villa. Now, if you know what my finales sort of consist of already, you'll know we're pretty much in store for a very much action-packed finale, because there's battles throughout the table. I'll be bringing you aspects or I'll be bringing you games from all of those battles, from the Europa League battle, the Champions League battle, the title fight, and also the relegation battle down at the bottom. Swansea and West Brom are already down, but I'll be bringing you the Aston Villa game, the Bournemouth game, Sunderland and Newcastle games, our game with Chelsea, as well as the Manchester City game and Manchester United game. So it's going to be very much action-packed, is the finale. If you're really looking forward to that, don't forget, to smash the likes button on today's episode. 75 likes would be massively appreciated, and you never know, you might even see the finale a little bit early, but it does take a lot of effort to get that up. Hopefully it'll be up next weekend, and I'm very much hoping you guys are hyped for that. Tell me in the comment section if you are. Subscribe if you're new around here as well. But nevertheless, I hope you guys are really looking forward to the finale and the Euro 2016 special that will follow afterwards with the squad that you guys vote for. But nevertheless, it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a good day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.